Alrighty, welcome back to Aaron's Tech Corner, and now I'm actually going to talk about the Topping MX3S and just kind of demonstrate it a little bit here and talk a little bit more about the specs, since I didn't really mention that in the last time with the unboxing. But here you can see it's on my desktop here, and I've got my Kanto U4 passive speakers plugged into it. I have both a Windows laptop here and a Mac Mini underneath my desk here plugged into it, and I have them set up with a USB switcher, so when I push a little button that's under the desk, I can actually switch between the Mac and PC. And since this DAC is connected to that USB switcher, it switches perfectly, so my audio can go either way. All right, so let's just zoom on in here and tilt down a little bit here and take actually a look at this DAC. Well, DAC slash headphone amp slash stereo amplifier. Okay, so just talking with Shinzen's Audio's specs, they say this is a high-res audio player, and it has a Bluetooth input, a optical input, coax input, auxiliary line-in input, USB input. I think I said optical already. If not, that has that too. Has a dedicated subwoofer output, and it has two binding posts. They're actually really nice binding posts. Then I've got some little banana plugs plugged into them, and that's for the powered amplifier, which is a Class D 62 watt by 2 channel, what do they call it, Merus or Merus? I'm not sure how to say that exactly. Class D amp. It has a headphone amplifier in it, which is 700 milliwatts. It has a automatic on and off feature. And let's see here. Oh, the DAC section, of course, everybody wonders what kind of DAC's in it. It is an AK4377. Full disclaimer, I don't know tons about DACs. I mean, I know in today's day and age, it's, most of them are pretty darn good. And what really matters is the analog section and the rest of the build around it, because most of the DACs are going to be pretty good from what I've been told, read, seen, and heard. I've tried like 3 or 4 different DACs, all the way up from like $30 to $200 DACs, and this is about a $200 unit, but it's also, got a lot of stuff going on. I like that it's really compact. I also like the fact that it has a remote. That's really cool. Some of the things that they don't mention in their specs, but it does have tone controls, so you can crank up the bass or the treble, which is a really handy thing. It has the ability to basically, you can listen through your speakers and headphones at the same time, or the headphones only. And one of the things that I do like about that is that, you can switch between it. When you plug the headphone in the headphone jack, it doesn't automatically mute the exterior speakers if you have it playing through there and the switch. So you do have to do that manually. So that's a little bit of a bummer, but not bad. The remote's pretty full featured, power on, off, all that, right? Turn it off, turn it back on. And that popped up and said it was at, I guess it was 48 kilohertz, because I haven't tried to play anything through it. But in the menu with the Mac, I can actually select things here, and it looks like these are all my options. I can go down 96 up to 192 at 24-bit. I know other DACs go way higher. I have a hard time really telling the difference between 96 and anything higher. I can tell the difference between 48 and 96, but beyond that, it's kind of tough for me to tell. Again, I'm not a super critical listener. I thought I was a fairly, big audio person, which I enjoy really clean, clear audio. But I listen to a lot of EDM and 80s music. I don't listen to a ton of acoustical stuff. So I can't really pick out a lot of like those little details. And, I'm not good at telling someone, oh, it's warmer or it's cleaner or more analytical. It's like, I'll leave that to the pros and like those AV science forums and things like that to do all the reviews. All I do is know is this is supposed to have a really good signal to noise ratio and, distortion and all that jazz. But anyways, I'll get back into this here. So if you push this button here, it will switch between different inputs: optical, coax, auxiliary, Bluetooth, and USB. And then it shows you the bit rate on USB, and then it goes back to the volume level, which is 38 currently, but that's out of 100. So, you can turn it up, turn it down on the remote, or you can do it on the actual unit itself. The other thing you can do is change the brightness, which is kind of nice. So if you decide like, oh, I don't like how bright that thing is, you can do that. And it does not seem to be doing that for me right now. Okay. Oh, there it is. L1, L2, L3. Okay. So back to 2. Okay, so, and then the other thing we have here is, yeah, like I said, tone controls, treble, you can boost it up, you can go down, that's up to 10 dB. And you can do that with bass as well. And then the select button here on the remote can either toggle the input or you can hold it down and basically, you can basically go, trying to do this here. Yeah, you can, if you hold the select down for a couple seconds, you'll see how it was saying L and H. That's your 2 gain settings. So high gain and low gain. And I'll go back to my USB. And yeah, that's about it for the actual controls. There's a mute. There is, play, pause, next track, skip, and all that works great. Here I'm going to switch to my PC. So bear with me. I'm going to push the button on my desk. Bop. Now you can see it switches. Oh, look, 96 kilohertz, because that's what it's in on my PC. And I will flop over to that thing here. It's not a full KVM, it's a USB switcher, and I kind of fumble with things because, well, it's pretty easy to fumble with stuff. Okay, here we go. Now that I made that take forever. Okay, and on the PC, here's the audio settings, and you can see that it's set to 2-channel, 96 kilohertz. Again, you can choose all the way up to 192. And yeah, we can go back down to 48 if we want. And you can see it immediately switch to 48 and go up to 192 and back down to 96. Okay. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of just the basic overview. I mean, honestly, I think it sounds great. I've already played with it quite a bit. It powers these speakers just fine. I can, get them to uncomfortable levels just fine. I had an IEMA A07 amp before, and the IEMA definitely, it gets louder and you run on a much smaller volume level, but I don't really need that much power because these speakers, I'm not driving to that. And plus these are near field, and I'm really not gonna want to crank it till my ears bleed. And then for headphones, I just have these Sony MDR 7506s, which it drives just nice and fine. I think those are 63 ohm or something like that. So, but with the 700 milliwatt headphone amp, you could probably drive some bigger, badder headphones. Again, I don't have any yet. I'm kind of new at this, so I'm going to try my hand at getting some different headphones and see what I like better. I think the Sonys sound a little bit actually a little bright to me, so it's nice to have these tone controls so I can dial it back when I want. But yeah, that's all about I have to say for it. I mean, it's a really nice compact unit, well built. I think it sounds fantastic. It's got plenty of power for my needs, and I look forward to trying out a whole bunch of new stuff with it. So thank you for watching, and I hope this helped you out, and hopefully there will be some more in-depth critical listening and measurements that other people will do in the near future. But if not, there you go. Talk to you guys all later.